In a quiet part of Ontario, Canada, a woman built her life around helping others. Her name is Serenity Cox, and for most of her adult life, she followed a path that many would consider stable, respectable, and secure. She worked as a nurse in emergency medicine, a career that demanded strength, resilience, and compassion. Her days were filled with urgency. Long shifts stretched into exhausting nights, and every moment carried responsibility. Patients depended on her. Decisions had to be made quickly, often under intense pressure. For over 15 years, this was her world. She wasn't just doing a job. She was living a life of service, helping strangers in their most vulnerable moments. It was meaningful work, but it came at a cost. Over time, the emotional and physical demands began to build. The stress, the fatigue, the repetition of high-stakes situations, it slowly started to take its toll. And then everything intensified. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, healthcare workers found themselves pushed beyond their limits. Hospitals became overwhelming environments. The workload increased, the risks grew higher, and the emotional weight became heavier than ever before. Like many in her field, Serenity faced burnout, but for her, it also sparked something deeper. Realization that life was short, unpredictable, and perhaps meant for more than just endurance. She began to question everything. Was this the only version of her life? Was there something else she could become if she allowed herself the chance? Behind the scenes, Serenity had already begun exploring a different side of herself. With the support and involvement of her husband, she stepped into a lifestyle that embraced openness, confidence, and personal expression. At first, it was private, something shared quietly without expectations, but curiosity turned into action. She began posting content online, starting on smaller niche platforms. There was no grand plan, no guarantee of success, just a willingness to try something new. What happened next surprised her. People responded, not just to what she was doing, but to who she was. Her authenticity stood out. She wasn't trying to fit into a mold or follow a trend. She brought something different, a sense of confidence that came from life experience and a presence that felt real. Her audience began to grow, slowly at first and then rapidly. What started as an experiment turned into an opportunity, and that opportunity turned into a complete transformation. Serenity made the difficult decision to leave her long career in healthcare behind and fully pursue this new path. It wasn't a safe choice. It wasn't predictable, but it was hers. As her popularity increased, she moved from independent content creation into working with major studios. Her name began to circulate more widely, and her work reached larger audiences across the world. She built a brand around herself, one rooted in confidence, maturity, and self-acceptance. In an industry where many follow similar paths, Serenity stood out because of where she came from and how she got there. From hospital scrubs to studio lights, her journey was anything but ordinary. And she didn't just step into this new world. She succeeded in it. Recognition followed. Awards, nominations, and a rapidly growing fan base confirmed that her impact was real. But beyond the numbers and achievements, her story carried something deeper. It was about change, about stepping away from something stable and familiar, even when it's difficult. About facing uncertainty and choosing to take control of your own direction. Serenity Cox's story is not just about a career shift. It's about reinvention. It's about realizing that identity is not fixed. and that it's never too late to explore a different version of yourself. Today, she stands as an example of what can happen when someone decides to take a risk and follow a path that feels true to them, even if it defies expectations. Her journey reminds us that life doesn't always follow a straight line. Sometimes the most unexpected choices lead to the most transformative outcomes. And sometimes the person you become is someone you never saw coming. This is the story of Serenity Cox, a story of change, courage, and the power of starting over.